Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lad on C++ programming. So in this tutorial we're going to learn about a generic function with two generic types. So in the previous tutorials on the generic functions, we have learned how to create a generic function with only one generic type. And when we use only one generic type, at that time, and if our parameter of the generic function are gonna be of the same generic type, at that time, the parameters that we gonna pass to that generic function must be of same type. It doesn't matter whether it's int, float, char or string, it should be of same type. So here in this tutorial I'm gonna teach you how to create a generic function which is gonna take two generic types. So here first we're gonna define it. So first we need to write the keyword template, and then less than symbol and greater than symbol, and between that less than and greater than symbol we need to write the keyword type name or class. I'm gonna write type name, and let's name the identifier as t1, and then we're gonna have another identifier, and that's why I'm gonna add a comma here, and then I'm gonna write type name again, and I'm gonna write, and we're gonna name another identifier, let's say t2, and now we're gonna write the return type of our function. Here for the demonstration purpose our function is not gonna return any values, so it's gonna be void, and then the function name, let's call it as display. And here this display function is gonna take two parameters of type 1 and type 2. So it's gonna be t1, the first identifier and the variable name, let's say x, and then t2, the second identifier or the second type and the variable name, let's say y. So here inside this display function, we're just gonna print out the values of this x and y, and that's why I'm gonna use cout, and I'm gonna use x, and I'm gonna insert and I'm just gonna use y, and let's end this line. So here this display function is taking two parameters, and these two parameters of different generic type, and also here we have defined two generic types, t1 and t2 separated by comma. Alright, now in our main function, we're gonna use this display function, and before that we need to write the function prototype. That's why I'm gonna copy this and paste it here before my main function, and I'm gonna add a semicolon. Alright, now in our main function I'm gonna call the display function, and we need to pass two parameters, and that two parameters can be of different types. We can pass one integer value, another one string value, or we can pass that both parameters as the same type. So first I'm gonna pass Anil, and then I'm gonna pass 24. These two are different types. This is possible because here this display function takes two parameters of different generic types, and when we compile this code, the C++ will come to know that this display function is taking the first parameter which is of type string, and then the second parameter which is of type integer when this statement is encountered. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it again, and I can pass, let's say 24 integer value and 65.89 floating point value, and again I can pass, I'm gonna copy this and paste it here, and I'm gonna pass two integer values, and again paste it, and I'm gonna pass two floating point values. Similarly we can pass two string values also. So here I'm just gonna say Anil, and let's say Anjali, and now I'm gonna build and run this, and now you guys can see Anil and 24, 24 and 65.89, 24 and 65, 24.36 and 65.89, and Anil and Anjali. So here this generic function display is taking two parameters, and these two parameters are of different generic types, and that's why we are able to pass two parameters of different types. If we had defined only one generic type, and if we have used any standard data type here such as int or float, at that time when we use that function, the second parameter must be of the type that we specify here. But here when we use different generic types for the parameters, we can pass different types of values. So this is it, guys. This is about a generic function with two generic types, and similarly we can create functions with multiple generic types. So this is it, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like my Facebook page, and stay updated with the latest videos that we're gonna make, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.